Well, welcome back to our live coverage here this afternoon of the Shannons Nationals, round 6 of the 2019 series. After a short track delay where we repaired the backside of the circuit after that big crash during the S5000 category. We were scheduled for another half an hour, but big shout out to our track crew and everybody in concern in repairing the backside of the circuit there, allowing the final race of the Kumo Super 3 series to be concluded. We've got a series to be decided over the next 10 laps. Richard Crailes alongside me, Matt Nolte, ready for this one. And big shout out to Alex Davison and to everybody concerned with S5000 after walking away from that big crash earlier today.
Yeah, Alex is okay. He's been speaking to the media. He's pretty upset with life, but he's okay. And the S5000 cars and the safety cell and all the systems did their job. And a massive big up to the team here at Sandown. At one point, we were looking at an hour and a half delay. They've got it bowled over in 50 minutes, and we're back to racing. And somewhat appropriately, an epic Kumo Super 3 series comes down to a 10-lap dash. This is what happened earlier on. Enormous impact. And they were line astern. Matt Brabham up behind Alex Davison, still working through what actually caused the impact. But the car did its job. These things are very, very, very safe race cars. And you wouldn't know, a car's been in the wall. So they've done a really nice job piecing that arm coat back together. Title decider on the line. It's Brock Feeney v Jayden Ojeda from a championship point of view. They line up alongside each other on the second row of the grid. But Josh Fife will go from pole position. He was the winner yesterday afternoon. His first ever race win. The first Holden win of the Kumo series this year. And that's about all she wrote. That's what we need to focus on. Can Josh Fife win his first round? Who will win the championship? And then in the Kumo Cup, the Pro-Am battle, it's been a swing. Brad Neal's had a horrible weekend. He starts 16th. Jim Pollicina now leads that championship by just a handful of points coming into this race. 479 to Pollicina, Bradley Neal 472. That's basically whoever finishes in front wins the Kumo Cup. So there's a bit to play out in that one too. Jim Pollicina looking to go back to back. And it all happens over 10 laps at Sandown. And it really is winner take all, man. And
there is no coming back. In under 30 minutes, this series will be decided. No more rounds, no more races. It gets squared off right now.
Just really quickly run you through the permutations. If Feeney beats Ojeda, he wins the championship. If Ojeda wins, Brock needs to finish 5th. If Jayden's 2nd, Feeney needs to be 9th. And if Ojeda's 3rd, Feeney need only finish 11th and he wins the championship. But if Ojeda wins and Feeney finishes 6th, it's tied on points. Ojeda wins the count back. He's won more races this year. So that's the maths. Let's go racing. 10 laps at Sandown.
5-second board is up. 10 laps to decide this year's Kumo Super 3 Series champion. Josh Fife gets us underway here. Brilliant start from the other side of the circuit once again. Matt McLean a little bit slow to get away. Great start for Heinrich there in the Osborne's transport entry. But Josh Fife has gapped the field. Brock Feeney will move to 2nd. It's Falcons 3 wide. Here comes Zach Best on the outside to turn number 1. He might get 2nd. He might go wide.
Yeah, off the road. But Jayden Ojeda's in 5th place, crucially, and just had to lift out of it at turn 1. Well, he was going to be the meat in a very expensive Matt White Racing sandwich. So, key contender back down. Hamish Ribberts is going to get 5 seconds. He's going to get pinged for a start line penalty. So 5 seconds to be added to the race time of car number 5. Championship contender coming into the weekend. Day done now.
Race control quick to pull the trigger on that one. He runs in 3rd position as cross the chicane at turn 6. Fife, Feeney, Ribberts, big lock up from the juice down at turn number 9. Best on the outside. You've got Lilly going side by side with Heinrich. What a debut weekend it's been. He's in the 7th position. In the background, though, it's Pollicina facing the wrong way.
Leader in the Kumo Cup. That's extraordinary. That could be championship changing for the race within a race. Brad Neal further up the road in 13th. So that's a big moment. That's key for the Pro-Am class, the Kumo Cup in Super 3. 1 down, 9 to go, 5. How good was the start? At the start of the year, he could not get these things off the line to save himself, and now he is making the best starts in the category. He leads. Feeney 2nd, Ribberts 3rd, but with 5-second penalty hanging over his head, that puts Ojeda a net 3rd on the road at the moment, but he's being hassled by Zach Best.
Lap 2, Nick Carroll in the black diesel jeans entry runs behind Heinrich, who's behind McCorkindale. It's down the back straight we go. Lap 2 of 10 here. Feeney just starting to pull in. Josh Fife with the championship on his mind. The 16-year-old from the Gold Coast. In the exit timeshare now, Falcon for Paul Morris Motorsport. Wants to cap this off in style here today at Sandown. And this time it's Best that locks up and just misses the back of that Direction Plus Falcon.
Well, and taking the extra distance off these races has just added more energy, so there's less time for them to perform. 8 laps left at the end of this one. And they still get the heavier points waiting to the third and final race of the weekend. Fife and Feeney 1 and 2. Feeney wins the title if they finish the way they are. He has only won one race this season. It was the opening race of the season. It seems like an age ago at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Since then, it's been the king of consistency. And the worry now is that he gets boxed in behind Feeney, behind Josh Fife, I should say, which will bring Ribberets into the game and, crucially, Jaden Ojeda. And the drama potential goes up again.
Absolutely. Feeney, fastest on the second lap, 1:10.02. The gap is visual. Andy Jones looks on down there. He's been mentoring Josh Fife over the course of this season, former Super 2 champion back in 2004 in the background of the shot. It's down to turn number 9 we go again. The first 4 really starting to compress here at Sandown Raceway. There's Best. Here comes Heinrich with Nick Carroll, McCorkindale, Dean Lilly back there in 9th, and Matt McLean completes your top 10.
Said yesterday he's just going to race as he has raced all season, Brock Feeney. He'll just go out and drive the car as hard as he can. Ribberets with a slide coming out of the final corner. Might just open the door to Jaden Ojeda, who's the fastest man on the racetrack at the moment. And as the motorsport car has got searing pace, but he's trapped in behind the MW Motorsport entry. 4 different teams in the top 4. How's the variety and how's the attitude on some of these cars?
So Ojeda, needn't worry about the car ahead of Ribberets with that 5 seconds hanging over the top. Let's take a look at the replay of the start. And again, from the other side of the track, it was supreme for Josh Fife. Nick Carroll didn't get the greatest of starts. He lost 3 or 4 positions heading down the main straight for the first time. But Josh Fife had 2 or 3 car lengths, 3 Falcons wide into 1. Zach Best tried around the outside here and Boulder wide in the Best Leisure Industries entry. He would drop back into 4th position. Ribberets would get that 5-second time penalty for jumping the start, added to his race time. This is what happened down at turn number 9. So Ojeda that locked up first. Heinrich did it again, but watch the background. We need to see what happened to Policina. Oh, it's contact with Matt McLean in the Iveco Trucks entry.
Oh, that really awkward. He was well over the inside of the corner, over that inside curb, and just wasn't going to get the car stopped. And that may kill the hopes of Jim Policina to defend his championship. Here goes Ojeda. Looks down the inside of Hamish Ribberets. There's no room there. Hamish closed the door. It's still line astern at the front of the field with Fife under pressure, but doing a really resolute job of defending his race lead from Brock Feeney. The 16-year-old from the Gold Coast wants to win this championship with a race win. Right now, he wins it regardless.
This is great. 5 cars down the back straight we go. 6 remaining. At the end of this will be 5 halfway home in the Super 3 Series finale at Sandown for 2019. It kicked off at Phillip Island this year with a whole new breed of teenage stars in this series. And it's just fitting Krause is going to go down to the final couple of laps here. And
Jaden Ojeda is getting frustrated because he's being held up by Hamish Ribberets, but he can't find a way through. Macaulay Jones watching on from pit lane. Been working very closely with Madeline Stewart at Brad Jones Racing this year as driver coach, but we'll be cheering on Josh Fife just as hard. He leads the race. Let's check the lap times. 10.2 for the leader, 10.2 for the guy in second. What about this time for Jaden? Will he get it stopped? You bet. P3.
Good move.
Championship leader, his next target.
So he continues that move up across the top of the S's behind his Best, looking on the back of his teammate. Remember, 3 Matt White Motorsport Falcons who went 1, 2 and 3 earlier this year. It's never been done in the Kumo Super 3 Series history. He's in the background of that shot.
And it wouldn't surprise me if there's a call over the radio to Hamish Ribberets to let Zach Best go as well, because Zach's got great speed and he's just broken the lap record. It's a pretty textbook pass, good run at the final corner. Aero assist with the toe, with the slipstream, and dives down the inside under brakes at turn 1. Nicely judged.
comes Fife and Feeney. Feeney closer than ever now. Aboard car 67 into the right and left of Sandown Raceway. Coming through to start lap 7 of this race. Are you nervous?
Yeah,
I am.
Really. What are the odds that this comes down to an arms-out last lap battle? After everything we've lived through this year, over 5 rounds, Matt, wow, over 15-odd races, it's just been extraordinary. Down to the lane.
Down in pit lane with Andy Jones. Hey, Josh Fife's doing a great job, isn't he? Great start and doing a good job leading.
He certainly is. He's been strong all weekend, to be honest. I think there was a bit of an equaliser this weekend with no testing available at Sandown, and Josh has been on that front foot all year with having to learn circuits, and he's in that mode, so he's looking pretty strong. Great young kid, and he's doing a brilliant job.
Does he say much on the radio, mate, or is he just head down?
No, he's head down. You know what, so you and I, mate, it was a long time ago that we were young, but they're basically just trying to keep the things on the road out there. He's a ripper kid, though, and showing a heap of talent at the moment, so pretty cool to follow.
That's good, mate. We'll get back to the race. Looks like it's heating up.
Yeah, you've timed this brilliantly. Thanks, Jacko.
Oh. And they've stacked up, thanks to Jack Perkins at pit lane. Ojeda makes a move on Feeney, but he stacked the field up in the process. Here comes Riberitz to go side by side with Feeney. Watch out for Zach Best.
Oh, Riberitz sliding. So that was an awkward little exchange down there. Brock Feeney was trying to fight for the lead, couldn't find a way past Josh Fife, and Jaden Ojeda, the Juice, has found his way through to second place. Another moment, another changing moment, the Kumho Super 3 Series, and I think that's given Josh Fife just a little bit of breathing room he needed to take the pressure off out in front, and all of a sudden he's got a second.
But didn't he handle it well?
Yep.
In the initial stages of the race? The gap is 1 flat second on lap 8. 2 to go at the end of this. It's a shortened race due to the fact we've had to repair that fence. It'll reduce the lap distances in our final 2 events of the day as well. But this one, just over 6 kilometres of racing in the Kumho Super 3 Series for 2019.
Oh, Jaden Ojeda is driving the wheels off car 11 and driving it too hard, if anything. Backed it into Dandenong Road. Rear broke traction, sliding around, and actually lost some margin to Feeney. But he's got nothing to lose now. He's got to throw everything at it, because if they finish the way they are, the championship goes the way of the young Queenslander. The exit time share now Falcon. He's got to get to Fife and then hope something else happens to the 67. But it's really out of his hands now. If they finish the way they are, Feeney wins the championship. Riberitz, remember, with the 5-second penalty. Zach Best just watching on in 5th place. Policena still last. I reckon Brad Neal's going to win this championship in Kumho Cup. Won't confirm it till afterwards, just the way the point situation works with the waiting in the final race. But I think he might just clutch it at the end. Massive job for Matt Stone Racing to rebuild that car after big damage yesterday.
Here's Gomersall, Tony Ordino, Jason Foley. Ordino's going for a wild ride down here and straight into the gravel trap. This couldn't happen. He's going to drive this out at the back, is he? He's
got to get some momentum going and drive it out. Otherwise, it's all over. Otherwise, the race is done. He's clear. Good to go. Gee, we got to that little battle pack at exactly the right time, didn't we?
And through the orange cones, splits him. It's a 710 split, isn't it, down there? Rejoins the circuit. That was huge for the number 4 car. What he didn't need was any more damage to that. As we start the final lap, the championship lap is on our hands now in Kumho Super 3.
Josh Fife continues to lead the motor race. This has been a very assured, methodical drive. And right now, Jaden Ojeda is hoping Hamish Riberitz does something that he might regret down the road, but remove the 67. He won't want to win a championship that way. That's not how you want to do it. It's been an awesome season for Brock Feeney. He's been the most consistent driver in the field. Just the 1 race win, but racking up seconds and thirds. Third, second. That's the round results for the first 4 rounds of the championship. The Matt White cars drop off the back. Fife's going to win this, Matt. It's been a superb drive, so he'll win the round. Jaden Ojeda has fought, done everything he possibly could to try and win the championship. Ultimately, he'll fall just short. And there'll be some celebrations here because Josh Fife will win the race and his first ever Kumho Tyre Super 3 Series round But the championship goes the way of the 16-year-old. Brock Feeney is the champion of 2019. The most consistent kid in the paddock is also the youngest. The Exit Timeshare Now Racing Paul Morris Motorsports crew have won arguably the toughest Ford Championship in Australian motorsport this year. It has been as wide open as any other series, and it has been spectacular since race one. Here's Bradley Neal. He's going to get across the line in 10th place, and I think he's done enough to take the Kumo Cup.
And keep in mind, that car was so damaged last night, they repaired that as late as 4 o'clock this morning out to Terry Wyhoon's workshop to bring some parts in, and they'll be fitting if that is the case. Josh Fife picks up his second win, his first ever round win in Kumo Super 3. Jaden Ojeda second, and Brock Feeney finishes third, enough to wrap up this year's Super 3 Series title. Hamish Ribberts will drop down the order with that 5-second penalty to at least 6th position. It was Best, Carroll, Heinrich, Dean Lilly, another top 10 result with Matt McLean and Brad Neal.
Well, it's an appropriate way to decide an amazing championship over the course of the year. Spectacular. Paige Foley, Gomersal next. Matty Stewart 14th. Policena recovered to 15th in the end, but not enough for the Mocom Communications. Carl Rodino and McCorkindale next. Here's the 10-lap highlights. Ribberts, gee, that's a marginal call, isn't it? Very, very tight to get that 5-second penalty that ultimately only relegated him to 5th anyway.
This was the first of the smoke shows down at turn number 9. Ojeda, Heinrich doing the same in the background. But then the contact between McLean and Policena just ahead would, you'd think, cost Policena the Kumo Cup Series standings. You said we got 10 laps of highlights. Well, every lap was a highlight.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Feeney was great, attacking Josh Fife, but it was controlled aggression. This is a key move for Jaden Ojeda. If the race had gone the distance, it felt like he would have got to Fife, but it was only 10 laps. That's all he had, and he spent probably too many of them caught up behind car number 5. Sliced down the inside and a really nice move at turn 1, but that was all she wrote in the end, and this was pretty wild. He got past Brock Feeney. Ribberts tried to do the same. And Zach Best was in the mix as well. The two Matt White cars just didn't have the outright pace this weekend, MW Motorsport, and then big moment for Tony Ordino.
He got the dirt, got the curb, then got the sand trap. He got the box trifecta down there across the gravel and kept the race alive for us, because that was on the final lap as well. The Crusher Parts International Falcon returning to the track, but finishing in 16th position, just separating the cones there on his way back down to turn number 3 in the closing stages of this final race. But out in front, Josh Fife picked up his second race win of his short career, his first round win, and Brock Feeney celebrates with the series. Well done to Josh Fife. We'll head to pit lane with Jack Perkins.
Well, Josh Fife, congratulations. That's your first round win. You've done a great job there. Well done.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend. I was super pumped about that last race. The boys behind me were quite quick, so I had to make sure I was just picking each braking markers correctly, and yeah, it held off and finally got that round win, and yeah, just super stoked, and just like to thank Brad Jones Racing for all their help. Like, without them this wouldn't have been possible.
We spoke to Andy Jones during the race. He said you executed the start perfectly and just went corner by corner, just put together the perfect race, so well done.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy the celebrations.
Yeah, I will. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move to second place. Congratulations, Jaden Ojeda. You gave it everything, came so close to the championship, but second there's a great result in the end.
Yeah, ultimately, if you had told me I would be second place in the Super 3 series when I come into the year, would have taken that at the drop of a hat. So I'm really stoked for the boys. Obviously, Brock and his team did an awesome job all year, super consistent, which is a good benchmark for us and to learn from. But ultimately, we did the best with what we had. So I'm really happy for us and our results this year.
Had great pace in that race too. Made some good passing moves. You've got to be pretty happy.
Yeah. Ultimately, I knew I kind of had to chuck the book at it in that last race and have a fair old crack at it. So I'm happy, obviously, to get the second place in the race as well. So ultimately, a good weekend with the boys.
Congratulations. Let's head over to third place. Brock Feeney, congratulations, mate. Champion of the Kumo Series. That must feel fantastic.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Put in such hard effort all year. I've only been car racing for 2 years now, and only learnt to drive. Last year Paul taught me how to drive at the start of the year. we've all put such an effort in. You know, it's just credit to the whole team behind me. We've had such a great year, so consistent. And yeah, the boys, Richie built, you know, just an unbelievable car. And Paul on the headsets, literally the whole team's just been unbelievable this year.
You're barely old enough to drive a V8 on the road, mate. You've just won the Super 3 championship. It is an awesome feeling. You've driven well. The conditions this weekend couldn't have been any more variable, and you kept your nerve. You did well. Were you nervous in that last race?
You know, obviously I was feeling the pressure. Well, I was a bit nervous, obviously, before the race started. Then there was a delay as well, so kind of relaxed a bit in between that break, but got back out there. And, you know, once we got going, you know, I just got into my groove. We had a great car this weekend. And yeah, great job to Josh, Jade, and the whole year. It was just an unbelievable race, and I'm just super excited. I can't believe I won, really. It's unbelievable.
Well done, mate, and enjoy it with your team and your family.
Yep, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Huge result. His second ever year in a tin top. 286 last year. I remember when he won the round at Tailem Bend. You think now he's in Super 3 and now he's a champion. Your final thoughts?
Extraordinary season, and a 16-year-old kid winning a supercar championship. I mean, that's an enormous result for our sport, isn't it? He could be in the main game in a couple of years, and if there aren't teams floating around trying to grab his signature now, I'll be very surprised. And that consistency, it's easy to find a fast young racing car driver, but one that can just rattle off seconds and thirds if you can't quite win the race. That's what you've got to do. He did that all season long, Matt, on the podium in every round of the championship. Outstanding, and full credit to Paul Morris and his crew as well for piecing that all together.
An unbelievable season of racing here. The Kumho Super 3 Series really stood up. Congratulations to Josh Fife winning the round, and congratulations to that young guy from the Gold Coast. Brock Feeney, your 2019 Kumho Super 3 Series champion. A break and more still to come here from Sandown.